Hello, everyone. Good morning to all future students who are planning to study in Australia. We are from IDP Sri Lanka to discuss study abroad options in Adelaide. Adelaide is the ideal place to live and study. It's affordable, it's friendly, accessible, and it is rated as one of the world's most livable cities. But if you ask experts, they have even more to say, and that is why today we have Naomi Lopu, Marketing Coordinator, South Asia of StudyAdelaide, to have a brief Q&A session with me. Hi, Naomi.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Dinok. I'm Naomi, and I'm the Student Coordinator South Asia for StudyAdelaide. I'm here to answer any questions that you all may have about studying in the city of Adelaide. A brief on what StudyAdelaide does is StudyAdelaide is a lead agency of the government of South Australia that promotes Adelaide as a destination for international students to study abroad. So welcoming all Sri Lankan kids for the session.
All right, thank you, Naomi. So we'll go into our questions, and if you have any questions, you can drop down on our comment section, and we will post it and us after our session. And to start off, to compare, Naomi, what are the unique aspects of a life of a student in Adelaide compared to other Australian cities?
Well, Adelaide is one of the world's most livable cities. The compact size means less time commuting and traveling and more time relaxing or visiting many attractions in and around Adelaide city. Adelaide is up to 33% more affordable than most of the other major Australian cities as well. And it has the lowest median rent in the country.
All right, that's great to hear. So on a follow-up of that, I want to understand, or the students in Sri Lanka would like to understand, what are the universities and institutes in Adelaide, and what are they best known for of those institutes if you compare it around other universities in Australia?
So we have multiple universities and a range of colleges and schools as well to suit every student's need. Universities in Australia and Adelaide are ranked within the top 2% in the world. And Adelaide has 3 public universities. One is Flinders University, the University of Adelaide, the University of South Australia. And we have Torrens University as well, which is a private Australian institution. There are a number of specialist higher education institutions as well. We have TAFE SA, we have International College of Hotel Management, Le Cordon Bleu, Kaplan Business Schools, and many more present over here. From foundation studies to pathway qualifications as well, there are many ways to get into a university course. To name a few again, there is the South Australian Institute of Business and Technology, Ainsbury College, the University of Adelaide College as well. So we have lots of opportunities for students to come over and study.
Yeah, that's great. And also, we would like to remind our students that all of these institutes and universities that Naomi just mentioned are partners of IDP, and we work very closely with them. And we will connect with all these institutions and universities if you have any queries. So please visit us, or even you can call us so we can connect you through to this universities, what they mentioned. So now, the next biggest, gray area, I would say, for many of the students, especially for the first timers, when they go alone for the first time, what are the support services that is available for Sri Lankan students in Adelaide? And also, can you also explain the accommodation options that they could find there?
Okay, so I'll take you through the accommodation options, Dinok. We have 5 main types of accommodation for students. Very first one is the residential colleges. They're usually located in the campus or near to the campus, so it's very, very easy access to the classes. The second one we have is the student accommodations. These are privately owned buildings, and they're specially designed keeping in mind the needs for the students, and they're usually, again, centrally located. There's an option for renting a room, which is basically in a shared house or an apartment. So you get a mix of having your own independence as well as living in a community. For those who want complete independence, you all can go ahead and rent an entire apartment or a house. We even have an option, which is a homestay option. It actually provides students a chance to live with a local family and learn about the Australian culture. So those are the accommodation options provided.
Yeah, that's great to hear. There's actually a growing population in Adelaide as well of Sri Lankans there. So
Yes,
that will be a lot of support for new students who are entering.
absolutely.
So my next question, Naomi, to you is just to explain about the city and also how a student can go from A to B in terms of transportation. What is it like over there?
Yeah, so I think getting around Adelaide is very easy and it's very affordable. For a Sri Lankan international student, they would enjoy the same benefits as domestic students for public transport because they receive a discount on a regular monthly metro card. It can be used for trains, trams, buses as well. The tram routes, which are located within the central business unit, the CBD area, are completely free, of course. So you don't have to even pay when you're actually traveling within the city limits. And Adelaide is one of the most easily accessible cities. And if you know how to cycle, I think it's a best form of just traveling around on your cycle around the city and abouts.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's very,
great.
very pleasant. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sounds a lot like a little bit of the hills part of Sri Lanka as well. So yeah,
Yes.
just moving on from that. Yes, you mentioned the transportation is free. What is like to live in Adelaide, and what is how is the cost of living for students in Adelaide, especially a Sri Lankan student who's coming there?
So the transportation only with the tram routes, which are around CBD, are free. Around, other than that, you will need a metro card as well to utilize when you're using your transfers from one place to another. On the cost of living as a student, it actually again changes. It differs based on the accommodation that you choose. So it could be around 150 to 600 Australian dollars per week, depending on the type of accommodation that a student finalizes and chooses. Um, Even students would like to spend around 60 to around $200 per week on groceries. Again, it depends on individual eating habits and preferences of even eating out. Utilities are things like electricity, gas, water. And again, it is based on the usage and the type of accommodation you choose. But on an average, you could expect to pay around $140 to $200. The cost again for a good broadband internet connection would be around 60 to 80 Australian dollars per month. Making note of all this, again, the cost of living is still lesser than the other major cities in Australia. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's great. So I'll also have a connecting question here. Do you have to have an insurance policy for students?
Yes, I think it's completely mandatory to have an overseas student health cover when you are arriving into Australia, into Adelaide. This insurance cover is a significant portion of your health care cost. In case you need it for a medical emergency or any assistance during your stay. So it's basically mandatory to go ahead and have that health cover in place before you'll arrive over here.
Okay. So recently we have heard some disturbing news coming out of certain parts of Australia in terms of safety. How safe is it to live in Adelaide?
Well, Adelaide is one of the safest cities in Australia, but as always, in every other city in any other country you travel to, it's always important to be aware of your personal safety, your surroundings, and be able to protect yourself as well. So it's completely safe.
All right. Okay. Okay. Moving on from those basic aspects that is needed in life, many students are worried about their post-study. How does Study Adelaide offer any career support for them?
Well, yeah, absolutely. We provide a lot of support for our international students. When a student is even, planning to come to Australia, or they've got through a university, they can actually check the job shop page on our Study Adelaide website. It basically supports international students to find part-time jobs, casual jobs while they are studying. Right now as well, there are hundreds of part-time and casual jobs available with employers specifically looking for international students to fill in certain roles. So feel free to visit the website, feel free to check out that page for any information provided.
Yeah. So can students work while studying? And if so, how many hours is that?
Yes, absolutely. Students can study and they can work, but before they undertake any paid work, please make sure to check your visa if your visa allows you to work. Uh, Basically, on a student visa, you may be able to work for around 48 hours per fortnight during the academic semester, your academic term, and full time during your summer breaks. If you're coming in as a master's by research or a PhD student, you may be able to work full time. However, please, it is essential to check the specific conditions on your student visa. And the best website to check that is Australian government's Department of Home Affairs, which have detailed information about, working conditions for international students. So that's one thing that I would like to share, as well as along with that, the minimum wage. So right now, the national minimum wage is around $23.23 per hour. But again, I would advise you all to please look into and visit the website Fair Work Ombudsman for more detailed information as well on wages.
Okay, that's great to hear. Are there any specific programs or initiatives that Study Adelaide has to help Sri Lankan students settle in?
Well, when it comes to employment support, Study Adelaide runs a variety of workshops in person as well as virtually. The level of support enables our students to start with the basics on how to write a resume, a cover letter. It also covers detailed topics like working visa conditions, mock interviews, career guidance and advice. So yeah, we have a lot of employment videos and webinars for students on our website that will ultimately help them for their future.
All right. So with that comes, there should be, events that students that
Yeah.
they should not miss at all. What are
Yes.
those?
So, South Australia is known as the festival state, and Adelaide has over 400 events happening in a year. We are extremely famous for our festivals. The largest arts festival in the Southern Hemisphere is called the Adelaide Fringe, and it attracts over many people from around the world who come in because we have things like comedy, music, theater, and many more activities as well. There are many more festivals like the Adelaide, Tasting Australia, Oz Asia Festival, Tour Down Under, and my favorite, the Christmas pageant.
That's nice to hear. That seems a lot of activities in Adelaide.
Okay. It's a
Okay, I'll
busy
slip this
schedule.
in. Yeah, I know. I'll slip this through in also. Do you all also organize any events?
Oh yes, so Study Adelaide, we actually organize lots of events for our students, especially from the time they enter the country. We try our best to make sure that we are there to be able to support them in every step of the way. We have lots of free and discounted events for them. We have the student festival, which has 900 plus international students attending it. And it's an opportunity to experience the festival spirit of Adelaide, but even meet new students from different parts of the world and, interact with them and, grow and live in a beautiful community. We have the Christmas garden party, we have a welcome party, we have many community events and awards, just to name a few right now. Last year we had around 100 plus events to support our students. So yeah, we keep working hard for that.
That's great. This question has always been in the back of my head. Sri Lankan students are very laid back and they like to confine themselves, to be on their own and very laid back students, not a lot of social thing. How can they engage with the community?
Um, this is my favorite. I think they could try volunteering, because I think volunteering is a great way to gain hands-on work experience, to meet people, and also give back to this wonderful, welcoming community that they will be living in. Currently, just to give you some stats, we have around 37% of international students who do unpaid volunteer work in the community. So I know that students love to, just partake in the community, and this is a beautiful way to do it.
All right. So that's a lot to look forward to when you're in Adelaide. This question also is related to a question that I asked you before, but I need a little bit more clarity on this. We spoke about career, we spoke about the opportunities that the students will have in Adelaide. But what are the upcoming developments that are happening in and around Adelaide, or projects that could benefit future international students? Because I know Australia is a ever growing country, and Adelaide has been one of the fastest growing as well. So
Yes.
just bring some excitement into students, and also to make sure that their career is, is bright there. What are some of the projects that's happening that they can engage with?
Well, there are plenty of growth sectors in South Australia currently. Just to give you some highlights on the work that is happening around Adelaide, is the very first one where it pertains to health and medical. The Biomed City is the largest medical precinct in the Southern Hemisphere, and currently it is expanding. The Australian Space Agency is based in Adelaide with 100 plus space related companies. We even have the Australian Space Park is Australia's first dedicated space manufacturing hub. We are targeting around 20,000 jobs by 2030. When it comes to, energy and mining, we are targeting 100% renewable power by 2030 with 20 billion of investment in renewable energy projects. On food and wine and agri business, we export $21 billion worth of food exports per year. And just to give you a highlight, we have 1 in 5 people working in the local food and wine industry as well. South Australia has the largest agricultural research precinct in the Southern Hemisphere. So in a nutshell, lots of job opportunities to look out for based on each and every criteria. I hope that's answered your question.
Yeah, it does, and it excites me even more because that's a lot of opportunities. Even in terms of agriculture, there are a lot of Sri Lankan students probably doing their undergrad in agriculture because Sri Lanka also has a very rich history or production in terms of agriculture. So good way to connect and good way to bring that expertise.
Study further, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And also bring that expertise from here to there. And that's a great news for all the students who are currently doing their degrees in agriculture. It's going to open up huge avenues for them there.
Yes.
All right. I think we have discussed at length of these opportunities, and so. But where can they get this information from? I mean, we have given as much as we could, but where do you think to post this they can get their information from?
I would recommend them to register for the Study Adelaide newsletter on our website itself, and as well as follow us on our various social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So they'll be given updates on a regular basis on the work that Study Adelaide does and the education sector in Adelaide as well. So yeah, feel free to just join in and register. And I think we'll be even sharing the link in our comments later.
All right. Yes, we'll certainly do that. But just one question I just want to, before we wrap up for today. What migration pathways are available for international students who wish to stay in Adelaide after their studies? I think it's very important. Yes, a lot of students may come back, but there would be some who will just fall in love with the city and want to stay there. So
Well,
what do they have? Yeah.
well, I'm sure they'll fall in love with the city.
Uh,
But just for an understanding, if you graduate with a degree from any institution in Adelaide, you may be eligible for an additional 1 year post-study work rights. I prefer to just inform the students who are listening in to just please make sure that you'll read more about this on the Home Affairs website. Again, we will share the link for detailed information about this. But yes, we do provide the 1 year post-study work, right? So they can learn more about it on the website.
yeah, sure. We will post that link as well on our comment section. Naomi, looks
Yeah,
like we have covered almost everything that the local Sri Lankan student would like to know.
perfect. Awesome.
Yeah, and that was a wonderful, sharing a valuable insight about Adelaide. And thank you very much for joining us today, far away from Australia. And we hope to catch you soon. So those who are watching this, we have a session that you could register and meet with study in Adelaide with IDP Sri Lanka on the 22nd of June from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, where you can meet over 15 institutions from Adelaide. Visit www.idp.com/Sri Lanka. I repeat, visit www.idp.com//Sri Lanka. We look forward to helping you embark on your educational journey in Adelaide. And all of us, from Naomi and myself from IDP and StudyAdelaide, we wish you a wonderful day ahead, and we wish to catch up very soon and make your dreams come true to StudyAdelaide. Thank you very much, Naomi, and thank you to all of
Thank you,
us who joined.
Denak. Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.